The much-awaited verdict from the Kathmandu District Court in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam was delivered yesterday, sending 16 out of the 18 alleged convicts behind bars for detention. However, the alleged victims in the case have made preparations to file their appeals at the Patan High Court, citing that the Kathmandu District Court's order was flawed. Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha, and these are the headlines of the hour. TerraMox technology introduced by the government at an investment of 2.75 billion rupees in limbo as Nepal Telecom and Ncell deny from installing the technology, raising questions on its legal basis. The National Assembly remains without works after the government fails to provide business. National Assembly Chairperson Ganesh Timosina on a 16-day foreign trip, halting the Assembly meeting. Russian President Vladimir Putin hosts a group of African leaders who have traveled to Russia on a self-styled peace mission following a trip to Ukraine. And the ICC Cricket World Cup global qualifiers to kick off in Zimbabwe from tomorrow. Nepal to clash against host Zimbabwe tomorrow. Match scheduled to start at 12:45 p.m. Nepal time. The Manmohan Cardiothoracic Vascular and Transplant Center Administration has said that the health condition of President Ramchandra Podel, who was admitted to the hospital due to heart ailment, is currently stable. President Podel had been admitted to the hospital at 2 a.m. early this morning. Issuing a press release, the hospital clarified that the president was admitted as his heartbeat had to be monitored. Prior to this, President Podel had also been treated and discharged from the Syed Gangalal National Heart Center on Wednesday. President Podel was also taken to India for treatment on 19th of April. The president had returned after getting treatment for 2 weeks at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences in New Delhi. The technology law introduced by the government that enables identification of quality of service and complete details of technology used by telecommunications service providers has remained stranded. The government introduced TerraMox technology at an investment of 2.75 billion rupees is in limbo as Nepal Telecom, NTC and Ncell both have denied from installing the technology, raising questions on its legal basis. The equipment kept at the regulatory body of the telecommunications sector in the country, Nepal Telecom's office in Dahal, are from TerraMox. TerraMox means telecommunication, traffic monitoring and fraud control. The technology was introduced in the country last year to identify the quality of telecommunication service providers like NTC and Ncell and scams carried out through their network. However, these equipment have remained at the store of NTC amid failure to implement the system. According to Nepal Telecommunications Authority, revenue of telecommunications provider companies, including that of NTC and Ncell, have decreased by 35 billion rupees in the past 3 years. The authority has stressed on the importance of implementing this technology as the decline in revenue of such companies has yet to be identified. The authority has termed the decline in revenue of the service providers suspicious, despite the increase in the number of service seekers, coverage area, towers, and investments. Meanwhile, service providers have challenged the authority to identify their errors. NTC has refused to install the technology at the moment and has demanded its legal basis. NTC and Ncell have raised the question as to who would be responsible for the invasion of privacy of their customers, as the technology will enable the authority to access to their call details. The meeting of the National Assembly that had remained postponed since 9th of May has been scheduled for 25th of June. Chairperson of the National Assembly, Ganesh Timosina, has gone on a foreign trip by halting the Assembly meeting for 16 days following the conclusion of the discussions on the budget. As per the constitutional provision, all the bills and parliamentary proposals, apart from those related to finance, could be tabled in both the houses. Meanwhile, the National Assembly, which is considered as the country's stable house, does not fall under the priority of the government and policies and political parties. Due to this, the National Assembly has remained without business on several occasions. The meeting of the National Assembly has been postponed for 16 days amid the absence of business, while its agendas have yet to be finalized. The Constitution equally prioritizes the proceedings of both the houses of the Parliament, the House of Representatives, and the National Assembly. The Assembly has also failed to utilize the authority of allocating business to itself. All the members of the National Assembly have the authority to table non-governmental bills as well. However, no such bills have been tabled in recent time. The National Assembly has endorsed a total of 53 bills until its 14th Assembly, while 6 proposals of public importance, 7 of attention drawing, and 6 of pledge proposals have been endorsed. However, neither the government nor the members of the National Assembly have tabled a single bill at the Assembly. The government has disregarded the Parliament's ruling to answer questions on 5 issues, including inflation. The National Assembly is considered the House of Experts. However, it has failed to fulfill its responsibilities amid lack of government priority and inactiveness of its members. In our Public Voice segment today, we have asked people in several provinces regarding their view on the budget introduced by the province governments. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
अघिल्लो सरकारले ल्याएका बहुवर्षीय कार्यक्रमहरूलाई चाहिँ निरन्तरता दिएको छ।
जसरी बजेट ल्याएको छ हैन, त्यसको स्रोत चाहिँ कहाँ छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ राम्रोसँग देखिएको छैन।
यो बजेट कार्यान्वयन पक्षमा राम्रो गयो भने अत्यन्त उत्कृष्ट छ।
पहिलाको जस्तै छनलाई हेरौँ अहिलेको बजेटले के कस्तो गर्छ।
महत्त्वपूर्ण आधार भनेको यहाँको कृषि, पर्यटन र युवाहरूको रोजगारीको क्षेत्र हो, यो छुटेको छ।
शिक्षा, स्वास्थ्य, यो पूर्वाधार, कृषि, सडक को चाहिँ कार्यान्वयन हुनलाई अब हेर्नुपर्छ।
कृषि क्रान्ति ल्याउने जुन अभियान हाम्रो मुख्यमन्त्री सायद कृषककै छोरो भएर होला त्यो अभियान सुरु गर्नु भएको छ।
असाध्यै राम्रो छ, रोजगारीको व्यवस्थापन गरोस्।
The alleged convicts in the fake Bhutanese refugee case have made preparations to file their appeals at the High Court. 16 among the 18 alleged convicts had been sent behind bars for detention yesterday. The alleged convicts have prepared to file their appeal, citing the court's order was flawed. Balkrishna Khan's lawyer, Khamma Bahadur Khati, said that an appeal will be filed at the Patan High Court following discussions with experts. Those sent behind bars for detention include former Prime Minister Top Bahadur Raimaji, former Home Minister Balkrishna Khan, Secretary Tek Naran Pandey, and Bhutanese refugee leader Tek Nath Rijal, among others. Meanwhile, bail amount has been granted to alleged convicts Lakshmi Marjan and Tanka Kumar Gurung. These alleged convicts have been accused of scam, organized crime, misuse of government documents, and crime against the state. In the meantime, police have intensified search for the 12 absconding alleged individuals after the district court issued an order to detain them. Police have said that search is underway for Keshav Tuladar, Ashok Pokhrel, Dhiren Rai, Dipanjali Humagai, Neeraj Rai, Pratik Thapa, Rajesh Aryal, Mohan Raj Rai, Ashish Budathoki, Binita Shawan Limbu, Niranjan Kumar Kharel, and Sunil Budathoki. Concerned entities have been corresponded to identify property details and freeze bank and share accounts of the absconding alleged convicts. Police have continued investigation suspecting involvement of additional individuals in the scam. It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you what could be the reason for the snail-paced distribution process of driving license. 25% voted for A, hassles with printing, 15% voted for B, not effective, and 60% voted for C, policy-level lapses. And here's today's question. Why are some parties in the ruling alliance forming a separate socialist coalition? Your options are A, to save the party's existence, B, to increase bargaining of power, and C, to threaten bigger parties. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And it's time now for the international update. Russian President Vladimir Putin is hosting a group of African leaders who have traveled to Russia on a self-styled peace mission following a trip to Ukraine. 7 African leaders, presidents of Comoros, Senegal, South Africa and Zambia, as well as Egypt's Prime Minister and top envoys from the Republic of Congo and Uganda, visited Ukraine yesterday to try to help end the nearly 16-month-old war. The African leaders then traveled to St. Petersburg today to meet with Putin. The mission to Ukraine, the first of its kind by African leaders, comes in the wake of other peace initiatives such as one by China and carries particular importance for Africa, which relies on food and fertilizer deliveries from Russia and Ukraine. The war has impeded exports from one of the world's most important breadbaskets. Speaking at a news conference alongside Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and 4 other African leaders after their closed-door talks yesterday, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said that the conflict is affecting Africa negatively. Chances for peace talks look dim as Ukraine and Russia take sharply different stands. Ukraine demands that Russia withdraws its troops from all its occupied territories as a condition for peace talks. The Kremlin, in return, wants Ukraine to recognize Crimea, which Moscow illegally annexed from Ukraine in 2014 as part of Russia, and acknowledge other land gains it has made.
Sports news.
The ICC Cricket World Cup Global Qualifiers starts in Zimbabwe from tomorrow. Nepal are clashing against host Zimbabwe in their first match tomorrow. The Group A match at Harare Sports Club is scheduled to start at 12:45 p.m. Nepal time. This is the first time Nepal are playing an ODI match against a test-playing nation. Nepal have played 51 ODI matches until now, all against associate nations. Nepal were successful in qualifying for the global qualifiers by finishing in the top 3 of the World Cricket League 2. In preparation for the Cricket World Cup Global Qualifiers, Nepal had played 2 practice matches in South Africa against the Netherlands and Scotland. However, Nepal lost both the matches due to poor batting. Meanwhile, Nepal lost to the UAE in their first warm-up match in Zimbabwe. However, Nepal registered a 2-wicket victory against Oman in their last warm-up match in in Zimbabwe. Nepal had played against Zimbabwe in a 50-over match in 2018. Zimbabwe had defeated Nepal by a huge margin of 116 runs in that match. In another Group A match tomorrow, West Indies are facing USA. The Netherlands is also in Group A. Meanwhile, Group B consists of teams from Ireland, Oman, Scotland, Sri Lanka and the UAE. The top 3 teams from each group will qualify for the Super 6. The 2 top teams from the Super 6 will qualify for the World Cup in India, which starts this October. 8 teams for the World Cup have already been selected. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.